All right, what's going on YouTube? I got a new video today. We're gonna be looking at my start and my top end mechanics, and I'm gonna be trying to give tips to you guys on how to really just slow down everything and really get in what you're working on in practice. I'll probably just show a lot of clips while I yap. I'll talk over some of the clips as well, but at the beginning, I'll just kind of yap about what you should be looking at or what you should be looking for. And I think I'm a fairly reliable source because the start is something that I've been working on for a very long time and something that I feel I've gotten pretty good at, but can always get better and can always improve. Hopefully I can keep connecting with you guys how I have been lately, really hitting points that you guys struggle on, that I struggle on as well, that don't really get hit on a lot. So we'll see what we can do. So let's get straight to it.
Niggas ain't fucking with me. Whoa. Bitch, I'm going for the win. I do no padding, no padding, no shit that you got in advance. I walk through the mall with this shit sticking out of my.
So the start. It is not the strongest part of my race at all, but it can be a good part of my race. I'm more of a top end runner. I'm 5'8", 5'9", but I'm really lengthy. So my limbs, my legs, my arms are pretty long for my size, my build. So my stride is actually pretty long. My stride is fairly long, I'm not gonna lie. I've even had runners who are 6 foot and up tell me that my stride is probably longer than theirs by a good amount. And I'm not even overreaching, overstriding. That's just the straight hip mobility that I have and flexibility that I have to be able to get my knees up as high as they do and stride as long as I do. I love my top end speed. My top end speed is definitely my strongest mechanic. My front end mechanics are just barely have any back end. I'm not gonna lie. I'm basically all front end. I barely have any back end, but that's why I do love my top end speed. My top end speed can continue to build. It gets more powerful and it just keeps going and going and growing and growing. So the first P that I'm gonna talk about is a mix of 2 Ps, and that's patience and panic. Panic is something you don't want to do in the start. See, panic is something that can be good and be bad in track. Just a quick hot take. I don't think people say, oh, if Johan Blake would have reacted regular time, he would have broke the world record. I don't think that that's what happened. I think that he had a good dose of panic. In that race, he got out, he stayed fundamental, or he didn't get out. He got out behind everybody else and saw Walter Dix, get in front of him, and he was thinking to himself, crap. And sometimes you get that sense of panic where all of a sudden you just start rolling. You just start rolling. I think the same thing happened to Noah. He realized in the 100-meter Olympic final, oh shoot, I did not get out. But when you see that, you will see him hit this speed boost to catch Letsile and Oblique right away. You'll see him hit just this random boost. And I think that those are good doses of panic. I've had it myself where I don't get out, but then all of a sudden I just start and getting right back into it. But bad panic is when you try to run a race that isn't yours when you don't need to. Something that I do a lot, that I am working on and that I've gotten much better at and that I learned in the most important time or the most important race that I've been in so far is patience. If you panic at the start because you know that the guys next to you get out and you don't get out, you're a second half runner. I'm gonna finish the race in the last 55 meters of a 60, or I'm gonna finish the race in the last 80 meters of 100. If you're that type of runner, that's okay. Do not try to change your race strategy because you're going against people who are gonna get out. It's just going to not set up your top end. That's all it's gonna do. Your top end is gonna turn into this choppy, fast, non-powerful run. If you are not a starter, that is okay. Just focus on mechanics, patience. Shane Thompson's coach told him, you're in sprint 2, and you could go fact check me. Shane Thompson coach told him, you're putting your feet down too fast. You need to take time to put power into the ground and create momentum. And that is what it's like. That is really what it's like when it comes to being a top end runner. You have to not rush. Just because you're next to the guys, right? You can't be like, okay, let me listen to the gun and go. Let me listen to the gun and go. No, I do that wrong. Sometimes I listen for the gun and that's all I'm doing though. I'm listening for the gun and I'm like, okay, as soon as this gun goes off, I'm running. And then I get to, and it's all choppy stuff and it's not setting up for my top end well at all. I have to accept I'm not going to get out with these guys. Because for runners like us, we go from panic to patience, okay? But if we can take out that panic, starters go from patience to panic because they're going to get out. And as we've seen with people like Kalen Walker, people like Kristen Coleman, starters, people like Akeem Blake, they break down. They're going to break down, okay? Because they're going to feel pressure of people coming. They're going to feel pressure of people catching up to them. And they're going to feel pressure of people behind them. And they're going to be breaking apart, start doing weird stuff. That's how it works. So if we can take the panic out and just have patience, that's already a one up on our race against starters. So the first P's are 1P, and that's patience and panic. Don't panic. Don't change your race style. Set up your top end with a patient, powerful start. So the other P being powerful is going to be really taking time to take your steps. Really taking time to push with each step. That is something that kind of trips me up because I will be behind, but the thing is that I feel like I'm running straight downhill when I'm doing that. Straight downhill, my head stays down, my body stays on a great angle, and then it just sets up for my top end perfectly. Now the thing is I was a hurdler, and I'm not a tall guy. I was going over 42s at 5'8", 5'9", okay? It's not easy. So at 8 steps, I'm popping up every time. That's also what's implemented into my head since high school. After 8 steps, I'm popping up so that my body is flashing up and I'm going. That's not where you're supposed to be standing up in an open sprint. 8 steps in, you're not supposed to be up. I promise you. So I had to really learn to get rid of that and keep pushing past that. But that's also because in those first 8 steps, I was thinking panic, whatever, get to the first hurdle first. I was just thinking, don't mess up your steps, don't blah, 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 blah. Just get to the first hurdle. Does it work in hurdling? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it did work in hurdling. But this is sprinting now. You should be at least 10 to 12 steps head down still. That's what based off of my research of watching guys like Noah Lyles, Fred Curley, Kashane, all those guys. They have their head down for at least 10 minimum. So I've been working on getting it from 10 to 12 and not forcing it. You can't force a longer drive phase or else you're gonna, sometimes you'll see Fred, he'll literally be running straight up with his head down and then just pop his head up. There's no need to do that. Now you're probably wondering, why is this kid talking about Fred Curley's start? Huh? Why is he well, I don't know. I'm just trying to give an example, okay? I know I'm not an Olympic sprinter. I know I'm not faster than Fred Curley. I'm just saying, if you look at guys like Noah Lyles, who is an Olympic champ, or Usain Bolt, they keep their head down for a good amount of time, good amount of steps. The last P is pursuit. You have to be in pursuit. We're second half runners. You're going to have to be in pursuit, okay? You're going to have to relax your body, relax your mind, and tell yourself that you can catch the guy in front of you and just get in pursuit. That's all it is. You don't worry about their race. You don't worry about anything. I promise you, if somebody says that they're always looking forward in a race, they're lying. Everybody is always using those peripherals and seeing where a guy is next to them. That's just how it works. That's how competition works. When you see a guy get out in front of you, you're going to be like, gotta go get this guy. Pursuit. It needs to be relaxed and it needs to be consistent. If you start trying to rev, if you start trying to shorten your stride, cooked. You just keep that same rhythm. And that's why I love Speed Stars. Speed Stars, the video game, is really, really realistic when it comes to sprinting. It makes sure you keep the same pressure and the same tap speed, right? To be able to hit top speeds and PR. That's the same thing with running. You have to find that flow where it's just, and you're just pumping every step, same amount of power is being put down, you're ripping that arm back, and you're just flowing. You can't ever panic and start to try to change it. No, you need to stay in constant pursuit. Staying in constant pursuit is all you can do. It's all we can do. We can't control other people's races. So that's the other P. That's enough yapping for me right now. Now I'm just gonna yap over film and really break down what I'm working on when it comes to my start and break down what I'm working on when it comes to my top end. Now, like I said, we're not all the same runners, but I'm hoping that if there are people out there that connect to this video, I can help you guys, work on the spots that need to be worked on. So we'll get into some film now. Let's get to it. So here in this video, this is me making sure that I'm getting power into the ground. I'm attempting to get to 10 meters in 7 steps. That's what they say an elite sprinter should be able to do. I'm really over the line at 7.5 steps. So I'm really happy with that. This video, I'm really happy with the switching and changing that I'm having, but I did stand up too early. Same in this video. I'm standing up too early, but I am pushing and replacing my feet fast. But like I said, I'm not driving long enough. Here is a pretty good video of pushing. My first angle was really aggressive and I did not hold that angle all the way through. Long angle, and it really started to shorten up, but I'm still really aggressive through that whole time. I'm pretty sure I got past 8. This is my conference final start. This is probably the best start I had all season because my top end mechanics were set up for nothing but success. And I was next to guys that were beating me all season because they would get out on me. This for me is a really bad start. My hips stay in the same place. My feet are moving under me. I'm standing up and there's just no forward drive. For me, that's not a very good start at all. And I'm really just straight up. We've been trying to work on block foot placement too. This is one of my first attempts of ever putting both of my feet on the pad, but I got no push from my back foot. And as you can see, it basically floated in air and replaced behind me. I was able to recover and get to driving, but it wasn't good enough. So here I went back to taking my foot back off the pad, and my back foot, at least my front foot's still on the pad, but my back foot is off. And I stood up way too early, to be honest, but I am getting more of a push. This was a very aggressive start. Never will I start like this in a race. That was just straight aggression. This is probably one of my best reps of just running in general. My top end mechanics were beautiful and my start was beautiful. I had the head down and just drove. These 2 videos are videos of me trying to rush my start and just run out the blocks because I'm next to a guy who's got a better start than me because he's lengthy, he's longer. So I'm trying to just react and get out faster than him when I really need to be waiting to set up my top end. Here's another angle of my conference start. Like I said, this is one of my best starts just because my feet are replacing. My head is down for somewhat long enough. I still pop up a little bit early, but this race set up for my top end so well because from here it was just smooth sailing and I was super relaxed and caught everybody that I need to win this race. That's basically the video. All of us have different running styles and things we need to polish up on. I just hope that maybe I could shed light to some of them, and to the higher ranked runners or any higher ranked college athletes or pro athletes that would see this or anything, let me know, man. Tell me anything that I could work on, or tell me if I'm spreading false information. I don't know. I'm just trying to help. So let's just keep working, keep our head down, keep trusting in God. Remember, God's timing it can be hard to follow sometimes, but it's the only timing that's going to work. So let's just keep working, stay confident, stay you. Don't let anybody change who you are on your journey, and we're going to be great. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a blessed day.